Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back inside the Lock Shop on a Tuesday. Dusty and Huss back with you once again. We got the 3M that we're going to get to. We got a little MLB partner parlay that we're going to dish out as well. And Pat Gregoire from Coolbet is going to pop by here to talk a little bit about a little golf action this week. Huss, Brian Harman, of all people, you son of a bitch. Well done, sir.
You know what? We've been sniffing around Harman, too, in sort of the last month. I don't think anyone even brought up his name.
Not at this event.
Into it. I mean, it was that was wild, and he absolutely deserved it. It is a little unfortunate, though, when you look at that leaderboard. Like, if Harman had just, got into 3 bunkers somewhere to force him to chip out, and you take 6 shots is a big, big margin of victory. Again, this is saying a lot. But, I mean, that group at 7 under and 6 under with freaking Rahm and Jason Day and Rory McIlroy, I mean, it
that would have
been
great.
Absolutely incredible. Instead, I mean, it was basically a victory lap. Harman was plus 175 after round 2 when he ran away with it, had that eagle on 18, got a little touch on it. And I will say this, I wasn't entirely upset with the way things finished. Listen, Brooks is on the shit list for what happened with him because he was heavily invested in. But you know what? I did have a nice wager on an American to win. The final days, we got a bunch of the nationality ones out there, and that was at even money. So that made up for a few darts that didn't hit the board, if you will. And of course, Rory, top 10, money in the bank. I mean, it's hard to believe the season he had without any majors, but I mean, I think he's been top 10 in 7 of the last 8.
Yeah.
You'd think that it's going to happen at some point. By the way, shout out to everyone that's watching us on X right now. You can also, who knows what's happening with this app? Subscribe to the Lock Shop YouTube channel.
Yes.
It'll all be there for you, fresh whenever we do it. You can turn your notifications on at Lock Shop Bets for those of you viewing on X.
Hey, I do want to, it's funny when I just logged into Twitter, the little X popped up first, and I was just like, oh my God, what are we doing here? But I mean, people aren't going anywhere. It's the same thing. But anyway, huge shout out to the Red Blacks. Plus 4.5 to wrap up our plus over 7-1 CFL partner parlay. Let's go. That was nice.
You know what? And this is great too. Obviously, there was a lot going on the weekend, and I got out onto the golf course in the afternoon.
You did,
we had a late tee time, and I'm just finishing up 16 or 17, and I had sort of lost track of the game. Just got a text from my dad, big supporter of the Lock Shop. I had the Lock Shop parlay. Thank you. Thank you. It was at that point I knew they got the cover.
I want to bet on my games with my dad. Yeah, he's been like hinting around it. He goes, well, we have to set me up with this cool bet and we'll bet some games. And his thing, my dad always goes like heavy into things. He goes, maybe I could retire off of betting with Cool Bet. I said, yeah, Dad, maybe. Like, I don't think you know necessarily how it works, but so I want to get him in too. I want to have that ride or die with my old man. I think that would be absolutely terrific. So,
just wait till we start getting Marsh in the Lock Shop. Hell, the Muzz too.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, they were betting a little bit last year. They haven't come back around to it this year, and I'm not going to force it on an 8 and a 6-year-old. But when they're 10 and 8, it'll be different.
Say, 7 and 9, maybe 10 and 8 for sure.
Hey, if they're old enough to have a video game system, they're old enough to bet on sports. Damn it.
Just in a world where we're increasingly, unfortunately, going to a cashless society, you need to be able to teach the youth the value of money, multiplication. I mean, there's a lot of math that goes into this.
Yeah.
I think of it more as an educational experience.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want Marshall to write a paper on sports betting in grade 6. Yeah, that would be great. All right, right back on the links again here, Huss. Obviously, after Open Championship, you're going to have a little bit of a weaker field here. You got 4 guys that you like this week. I've got 3. And look, I'll just rip this Band-Aid off. I'm on your boy, Tony Finau.
Yeah.
I think it would be great if I hit a Finau play, considering he's your guy. So when I saw he wasn't on your card, I was like, screw it. One of us has got to be on Tony in a field like this. So Tony at 12-1. And you got Cam Young at 14-1, which I also like.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, I'm not sure about either of these guys. And to be honest, I think I'm really going to really focus my bets on some of the guys lower down the card and guys that haven't been, that didn't just travel from overseas. Tony's going to have a lot going in, into this as the defending champ. And I think that's the reason why he is there. 12-1 on a guy that just came over. I mean, listen, I maybe will do a FOMO bet just to make sure I can make up everything if he does win. But to be honest, I think if we were going to play a guy near the top of the board, Cam Young's the guy. Obviously, he didn't have a great Sunday, but played very, very well at the Open Championship. I think he comes back to this event knowing he's right there with the best in the world, and he doesn't have a win yet. And this is a perfect field, a perfect opportunity for him to get that. So I think that if we see somebody that played in the Open at the top of the board, that to get in the winner's circle, it's Cam Young's time. But I'm looking at a couple of the younger guys, man. And I think back to the inaugural event of this 3M championship in 2019, when Matt Wolff had just turned pro and he won. And that sort of set his career off. To me, I think Ludwig Aberg, I mean, we've seen how good he can be at times. He's had monster rounds, just hasn't been able to put the four together. I think with this field, the experience that he's learned over the last few months after turning pro, I think he is very, very live coming in. So 33-1, I'm all over that. And then, yeah, usually we do a third pick. I sort of split it between two guys. I was going to throw down on Austin Eckroat at 65-1. And I mean, he is quietly had a pretty darn nice season. I mean, he T10 in the U.S. Open. He was top 30 at the Memorial. He was top 20. He was tied for 24th at the Travelers. Did not make the cut at the Rocket Mortgage, and then went over and made the cut at the Scottish Open. He's a player that when he gets hot, I think that he is very live. And at 65-1, I figured there was some good value on that. And then I saw Cam Champ right beside him, and I tried to bet Champ 2 weeks ago. Whatever the event was, the same time as the Scottish Open over here.
Yep.
And he had pulled out. So I kind of split my my dart bet between these two guys at 65-1. You can still, you don't need to put a lot to get a nice return on two of those. But Aberg's my favorite pick on this. I mean, I just sort of look back at the younger players that have come in and won this. And Cam Champ, by the way, the other reason why I like him in this event is that he won this event just a couple of years ago. So 2021 champ, he actually had, a half decent season going on, like some ups and downs. But again, you just want a guy to pop for 4 days. I think he'll have some good vibes getting back here. So I think both of those guys are nice value at 65-1. But the guy I'm really circling on my card is Aberg, because we have seen young players come in and make their mark with their first victory here. Morikawa did it at the Barracuda a few years ago. Wolff did it here in 2019. I wouldn't be surprised if Ludwig Aberg is the guy that actually wins it. So that is my favorite pick of the ones that I'm touched on.
Yeah, the other guys, I mentioned Finau. We're going to bring in Pat Gregoire here right away. But the other two guys I'm looking at, JT Poston, T6 at the John Deere, T6 at the Scottish Open, finished, I think, T41 last weekend. But he's played here twice at TPC Twin Cities, and he made the cut both times, scoring average below 70. And, just one of those guys that I think plays well in a field like this. And then Ryan Fox is an interesting one. He's at 50-1. I don't know if you saw it pop up on X or Twitter or whatever the hell it's called over the weekend, but after the Open Championship, there's like 12 guys who made the cut at all 4 majors, and Ryan Fox was one of them. It was like kind of a list of who's who, and then Fox down at the bottom of the list, right? So he's played well in some of these events against some of these bigger guys, and he's never even finished in the top 10, but he's got like 6 or 7 top 25s this year already. So at 50-1, I think he's probably worth a play as well.
Hey, and he had a garbage first round. I think he had to shoot like 4 under in round 2 just to make the cut.
Yeah.
So Listen, I don't mind that. I mean, listen, this is the sort of event where I think there's some real value down the board because I think the heaviest, like the chalkiest players, probably a little burnt from the travel and playing over in the Open Championship, and wouldn't be surprised if we see someone that didn't play in the Open Championship win. But if you are going to take a guy that was there, Fox at 50-1, considering the number they're hanging on him, I think a pretty good wager.
All right, let's bring in Pat Gregoire from Cool Bets, who's wearing a shirt like yours, but a hat like mine. Branding well today, Patty. How you doing, buddy? Good. I had this one. I had this one ready to go, but it just, I don't know, it sits a little too high up for me, you know? I don't know. It looks okay. We're backwards. Like
that one's made for my head. I love that one. That's my favorite of the Cool Bet lids.
Nice. Yeah.
No. Well, Scotty Scheffler. I mean, Scheffler and Brooks really disappointed, I think. They were right there, -1 after the first round, and then made the cut, but, weren't really in the mix at all. And then
I got the John Rahm top 10, +135. But outside of that, it was pretty bleak. Man, Koepka, I'm looking at like my board from that. Koepka really screwed me this week. That sucked.
Well, did Ricky? Did Ricky finish top 20? He didn't, did he? Okay. Well, listen, that makes it maybe us feel a little bit better because Brooks, obviously, like Brooks, that was the partner parlay. We needed Brooks in the top 10, and I was feeling pretty good about where he was after the first round. But that did not happen. And shout out, we didn't have enough time to get to this. I think this came on the board late. I did make a sizable one on the winning nationality USA at even money. So that one bailed out a little bit. But really, the most important thing that happened this weekend was Dustin Crum leading Lock Shopper to a +725 partner parlay. And no Bombers this week, but we'll have another banger, I'm sure, coming up on Thursday's show before we have another kickoff this week in the CFL. What do you think about the 3M here, Patty?
It's interesting. It's it's giving me a lot of Rocket Mortgage vibes.
Big
very
time.
Similar field, and it's kind of fitting for guys that mash it long. So you mentioned a couple of the previous winner, Matthew Wolf, Cam Champ, who you're on, Tony Finau. These are all guys that are long off the tee and are great ball strikers. So that's kind of where I went. Two guys that are on my card, you guys also have, so I won't spend too much time. But Ludwig, we have another opportunity to get the long hitting Swede here. In the past 24 rounds, Aberg's plus 19.9 stroke gains off the tee. It's the third most in the field. He's also sixth in birdie or better gained, fourth in opportunities, and eighth in par four scoring of par fours more than 450 to 500, which the majority of these par fours are very long. So long hitters are going to play well. Ryan Fox, I was on him last week, and I couldn't believe how poorly he played. I think he was +7 after round one. +7. He still managed to get to like T54, but I had a sprinkle on him to win outright, and I think a top 20 bet I threw out like just at the last second before I signed off with the lock shop. Said, oh yeah, by the way, here's a little fun bet. Well, again, not a full round out of him, but he's a guy that absolutely bombs it And these long par fours, he scores well. He's a plus 18 in stroke gains on par fours from 450 to 500. So over the last 24 rounds. So best in the field there. The other one I'm going to, and I mentioned him, he was one of the only guys that won me money this week, Hideki Matsuyama, 16-1.
Okay.
Not quite as long off the tee. Not a terrible driver of the ball by any stretch of the imagination, but his approach game, his ball striking is elite. And when you look at the names and you look at the talent, he is, when he's on his game, he's probably the best or one of the best golfers in this field. He has been playing much better. I think 2 top 20s in his last 3 starts. So I really like him. I was very, very tempted to go Sepp Straka, but I just don't know if he's got 2 tour victories in one season in him. So instead, I'm going to bet a top 10 at plus 250. And for him to finish in the top 20 in this field at plus 150, which was kind of remarkable considering how well he's been playing.
That's a good idea. I like that play, buddy.
That's probably my favorite 2 bets for this. I wanted to bet Akshay top 20, but I just was looking to find him on the board. He's not there. I guess he's pulled out, probably just celebrating a bit too hard for his first tour victory. So no play on Akshay there, but those are my favorite bets. Again, we're doing this a day earlier, so my prep's a little thrown off, but I tend to agree. I think when you look down the board at some of the 50s, the 60s, like that Eckrope bet is something that I really like. Taylor Pendrith, 50-1. He seems to fit all the trends as well. I know he didn't play well at the Barracuda last week, but he's starting to trend in the right direction. And he's a guy that I would certainly be thinking maybe sprinkling at 50-1.
Well, he was, he was good at John Deere, and last year he was T2 at the Rocket Mortgage. So, and he can certainly hit the shit out of the ball. There's there's no doubt about that. And don't even mention Akshay, by the way, because I had him originally. I had Cam Champ for the John Deere. He pulled out, so I bet on Akshay. He was good. Obviously, we were so focused in on the Open, sort of forgot about the Barracuda, and then I saw, oh my God, he's there. And I mixed the 2 tournaments up, realized that, no, I didn't have him for this tournament. I had him the week before. Could have stuck with him. I mean, he's one of those guys that was going to win sooner or later. And I kind of have that same feeling about Aberg. And that's why I'm liking this 33-1 that we're on.
One more. I totally forgot. I've actually already bet this one at 50-1. Lucas Glover. I was on him the previous tournament at the Barbasol. He was, I think he was the leader for 3 rounds and then kind of fell apart on Sunday. But I like him in his last 3 starts, 4th, 6th, and 5th. He's striking the ball really well. Yeah. And again, he's a guy he's a U.S. Open winner, right? He's not going to be afraid if he's playing with the lead. He's used to fields with a lot of great players. This isn't here, but I don't think the bright lights, if he comes on Sunday, like him blowing it again. So I like him to win, but I also like him to maybe place in the top 10 or even top 20.
A lot of pressure at home on Glover after what had happened. His, you know what they say, happy wife, happy life. Well, we all remember that. I just hope he's doing okay after blowing that lead. That could not have been easy to come back home after that tourney.
Patty, as always, buddy, great to catch up with you, man. We'll do it again next week.
Perfect.
There you go. That's Pat Gregoire from Cool Bet Canada. Haas, I know you've got a jet. Quickly, our lock shop partner parlay is up, and we got a 3-gamer. Tampa Bay money line. They've been struggling, but so have the Marlins. I threw the Tampa Bay money line in there. Houston Astros money line and Blue Jays money line at plus 520, buddy. So that's a pretty nice little number there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got a boost. I think when we built that, it was about plus 470 or so. Yeah. So plus 520 is nice. It's up there right now. We got Bassett on the hill for the Jays after that big win last night against Urias, probably the most gettable of the Dodger starters. And we'll see if we can, make it another partner parlay after that beauty on the weekend. So plus 520, it is up right now in the Cool Bet exclusives.
We will talk to you on Thursday, man.
Right on, buddy.